Today's video, we're going to look at if Mexico forms an empire in 2024. Let's see, what do they do first? Well, they decide to go up against Guatemala. Why Guatemala? Because Guatemala, I guess. I don't know. And they also completely circle in Belize. And they quickly start moving in and cut the country in two. And due to Belize sending an aid, they invade Belize. And while they take the coast away from Guatemala, and while Guatemala is about to collapse. And well, let's see how their collapse. Let's see how their annexation again, because they're not sure if they can go up against the big beast to the north. Well, as reforming a Mexican empire, they couldn't, but this is empire. I'm also going to war with Nicaragua. And this is Mexico strengthening its army and infrastructure. And, well, economy quick. As they're conscripting many soldiers as they're getting ready to go north. With Mexico running into some logistical problems around the way. But overall, they managed to take out these nations. Let's see how the peace treaty goes. Honduras and El Salvador. They then decide to go after a few nations, but Colombia decides to come to their rescue. But will Colombia do much? Who's to say? As well, Mexican forces, the Mexican Empire's forces, start crossing the border. Well, it's going to be hard to get forces in, as I need to get through an area where nothing can get through. So while Mexico has the better capabilities, as Mexico can't get further there. Despite the fact it's Panamanian territory, no one really can control it. So they land right here. But the Colombian forces were kind of ready. So they pushed back. But this landing was a success. With them launching a landing here. There. Here, which starts to expand, and here, which starts to expand. Except they're pushed back in the two southern ones. Pushed out in one. Pushed back here. And pushed back there. Although their landings are more successful. Moving up the coast here. And while Colombia's in a bit of trouble because now the forces are rapidly being sent down. Well, Colombia makes another attempt to push them back. But they're starting to run out of resources to hold back. With Mexico not planning on taking way too much from them, they decide to fight for a bit. And then they finally decide when, well, their capital, Bogota, is under siege, to surrender. So let's see the peace treaty. And they annex parts of northern Colombia, which gives them more coast. And Colombia is not upset because they didn't lose too much land. But now the USA and Mexico go to war. And as this starts, well, seeing that it's unlikely the US will do anything, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Alaska say we're independent now. And well, everyone's shocked at this. The Mexican-American War, the Second Mexican-American War had broken out. With Mexico going pretty slow to enter, because, well, how could they be fast? In this situation, as they're basically being damaged on many spots without any, idea this was going to happen with a few million Mexican troops. As they cross the border in many areas, they start to embarrass the U.S. as they start moving towards Houston. Although the attack in California and Texas is rejected in big chunks. But Mexico decides to go after Phoenix as they quickly encircle Phoenix. And then they start capturing other major cities in New Mexico and Arizona, which aren't many. With them getting pushed back a bit. surprisingly, it does not much. With Mexico coming up with a plan, invade the southern tip of Florida. With not many forces here, due to this being really unexpected. Once the forces do arrive, it eventually stalemates there. But as that was happening, they reintroduced the attack on Texas, moving towards Houston and then eventually encircling it and taking it. They move up and take the other major city. I forget which major city that is. And they take another major city and another one. All the major cities are pretty much gone from Texas. With this being the new front line in the U.S., decides their best move is to kick them out of Florida, which basically happens easy. And then they move troops over to push them back in Texas, which they barely move them, and into Arizona, which barely works. With Mexico moving into Southern California and taking major cities in California, such as LA, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, any major city, and Sacramento, the capital, and all the other cities that are important in some way or another. With them moving in towards New Orleans, and they capture the city. With the U.S. trying to take any victory where they can at this point, they literally push back into California. But the problem is, they don't really make good enough gains. And they managed to take Arizona back and push them back towards New Orleans. But the problem is, the U.S. is starting to get tired and its population's unhappy because of how bad this war is going against Mexico. You know how bad this is probably going? Well, probably really bad by the looks of it. With them moving back into Florida, the people demanding an end to this war grow stronger and stronger. Mexico decides to take advantage and give a harsher treaty than it needs to be. So let's see how the treaty goes. Two of the most populous states, basically. Probably most of the population of Texas, most of the population of California, and like a big chunk of the population, probably like 40 million. And in this video, probably like 50 or 60 million more people. So as you can see, they can't really expand anymore. This is the Mexican Empire. It expands from South America to Northern North America and all over Central America. And that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like and subscribe. Why should you subscribe? Because we're trying to get to 2,900 subscribers by September 1st. So please like and subscribe. Bye, guys!